evening and welcome to the Eagle Eye Network. I'm your host, Deborah Ethier. Tonight, I'm joined by the talented actress Lena Morris to discuss her latest film, Wolf, a compelling blend of mystery, suspense, and drama that also explores social themes. Lena, thank you for being here. To start, can you tell us a little about Wolf and what makes it stand out? How does your product use or challenge conventions?
Thank you for having me. Wolf is a film that plays with genre conventions while also exploring how society interprets young women. We open with a striking sunset shot, immediately immersing the audience. This compares to the film Divergent, which also starts with a sunset to signal transition. However, while Divergent establishes a dystopian society, Wolf uses the sunset deceptively. It creates warmth and beauty before slowly destabilizing that sense of safety. According to media theorist Steve Neill, genres rely on repetition and difference. We repeat familiar elements such as a central female protagonist and suspenseful pacing, but introduce differences by placing danger in daylight rather than darkness.
So you are using audience expectations against them.
Exactly. In terms of mystery, we strongly uphold traditional conventions. Mystery thrives on secrets to uncover and unanswered questions that keep viewers engaged. When Scarlett looks behind her and begins to run, the audience does not see what she sees. That restricted perspective raises questions. Is she in danger? Is someone following her? The dialogue in the background also adds tension, similar to the crescendo moments in the film Twilight. But unlike in Twilight, where the danger is eventually romanticized, Wolf keeps the threat ambiguous.
And suspense is really heightened by that field scene, isn't it?
Yes, suspense comes from anticipation. Scarlett is dancing in a field during golden hour wearing a red dress. It is visually beautiful, but the audience senses something is off, putting dramatic irony into action. Many suspense films, especially with female leads, resolve danger through rescue. In Wolf, there is no savior. Scarlett runs alone. This challenges audience expectations and gives her agency while keeping them on edge.
The high school drama is also very powerful. It feels very real.
Well, drama relies on emotions and social conflict, which is why we chose to include this genre in our film. The high school students mock Scarlett, calling her provocative because of her red dress. This is similar to the film Mean Girls, where social hierarchies and judgment dominate. However, while Mean Girls exaggerates for humor, in Wolf, the cruelty feels real and deeply affecting. These interactions heighten tension and feed into the drama because the audience begins to question whether the real danger is physical or social.
That ties into representation. How does your film represent social groups and issues?
Representation is exemplified in our film. Media theorist Stuart Hall believes media constructs meaning, rather than merely reflecting reality in his theory of representation. Scarlett's red dress is a symbol. Traditionally, women in red are coded as seductive or dangerous. The students interpret it that way, but Scarlett's innocence disputes this. This contrast exposes how society projects meaning onto women's appearances.
And does this relate to Judith Butler's gender theory?
Absolutely. Judith Butler argues that gender is performative and constructed through repeated acts and interpreted by society. Scarlett's dress becomes a symbol of misinterpretation. The students see it as deliberate provocation, but for Scarlett, it's self-expression. Our film critiques how femininity is policed and highlights victim-blaming culture. Scarlett is judged not for her actions, but for how others read her appearance.
So Wolf challenges stereotypes about teenage girls?
Definitely. The media often portrays teenage girls in extremes. Scarlett is both vulnerable and complex, showing that girls can be many things at once. The high school students aren't just villains. They reflect the pressures society puts on young women. Again, using Steve Neill's theory around genre, repetition and differences are incorporated into our film. We use familiar elements of mystery, suspense, and drama, but twist them to challenge stereotypes. Compared to Divergent, the conflict is more internal than external. Compared to the film Twilight, the danger is a mystery. And compared to the film Mean Girls, the cruelty feels more real and emotionally intense instead of funny or exaggerated.
Finally, what do you hope your audiences take away?
I hope they see that the real wolf is not always a literal threat, and it is used to represent judgment from society. Through our blend of mystery, suspense, and drama, we use these genres to draw the audience in and make them an active audience. We want the audience to be actively engaged in our film. Wolf is really about how people judge and misunderstand each other, and how those assumptions can feel just as intense as any danger in the woods. Thank you for tuning in to Eagle Eye Network.